So we are back with another college football video for you guys. So conference realignment has been booming lately. It's been happening. We just saw Colorado last week move officially back to the Big 12, leaving the Pac-12 because the Pac-12 does not have a media rights deal, and it still looks like it will not have a media rights deal even after yesterday when all the Board of Regents met. It doesn't look like they were able to hammer down a number that they felt satisfied with, and it is now looking like the four corner schools: Arizona State, Utah, and then obviously Colorado has already left. So the other three are looking to make a pact to end up leaving the Pac-12 to join the Big 12 to expand the league even further and make that a big-time league, and make it the best college basketball league and make it a competitive college football league. And Oregon and Washington are looking to maybe join the Big 10. They've recently had meetings. They're also having more meetings today as the Big 10 had their Board of Regents meetings yesterday regarding the two, and are open to those schools coming. Oregon and Washington are just going to be having meetings and then have a meeting obviously with each other to confirm that they are going to try and make a move to the Big 10 and expand their reach. What a chaotic past week and a half. I mean, it first was Colorado having a Board of Regents meeting after their talks with the Big 12, and then the Big 12 giving them the invite, and then Colorado the next day accepting it and going to become a member next season. So really crazy. That really kicked off everything. Florida State yesterday with their Board of Regents and president had a meeting letting them know they are very unsatisfied with the ACC and would like either bigger revenue share or they will leave the ACC. I don't know how that works with the grant of rights being so prohibitive, over $100 million they would have to fork over to leave, along with having to fight a legal case to be able even to leave that whenever they would like to leave it. So I don't know what's really going on here in terms of the ACC side of it, just because the ACC is more strict and the grant of rights is a lot more restrictive. And I know this is all related to money. Obviously, I believe the ACC's deal runs through 2036, which leaves them at such a huge deficit, as the Big 10 and SEC will already be up again to have their media rights deal renewed again by the time 2036 even happens. And they just got new media deals, and they're already bigger, much bigger than the ACC's. And then them being able to come to the bargaining chip again before the ACC get another big deal before the ACC could even start off their first new media rights deal is a really big problem for them. Clemson and Miami are along with Florida State and North Carolina is also with this, that they all are looking to try and leave and go somewhere potentially else. Either that being the SEC or the Big 10. The SEC does not look like it is going to attempt to pick any of these schools yet. I think they will once they do say they want to leave and they're willing to go through the legal process to do so. I think then Florida State and Miami could look to join the SEC, while Clemson and North Carolina are going to look to join the Big 10 potentially. But I think the more than likely is, and you can see a poll here, that I do think Miami will 100% join the SEC over the Big 10, and I do believe Florida State will join the SEC as well. I think that just makes too much sense with now Oklahoma and Texas also being over there, along with the rest of the Southeastern Conference. It just makes sense for them to also join the Southeastern Conference and leave Clemson and North Carolina for the Big 10 to join their footprint along with Oregon and Washington. So really big news coming out here. Nobody knows what is going to happen in the next couple of weeks. Obviously, by August 15th, somebody has to have said something if they want to leave for next year. That's how the grant right works. So if you do intend to leave for the next season, you have to have said so by August 15th of this season. If you do not, then you cannot leave next year. You have to wait then a year after that. By August 15th, you have to let us know. So you're going to leave the year after that. So I hope that's not too confusing for you guys. with still huge battles for recruitments still going on, while also the athletic directors, board of directors, and the board of regions are all having consistent meetings of where they would like to go with conference realignment, where can the money be made, and where is their best options here. It is looking more and more and more likely that FSU is definitely going to break off. So will Clemson, North Carolina, and Miami, along with Washington, Oregon, and the rest of the three corner schools. And it looks like the Pac-12 is going to be gone. It really does. Some major news regarding that as well. You can read this. Oh, you can go to the. I think there's like a tracker on this crazy amount of news, but it's crazy that this is where it is at right now. But we have no idea why it is so bad for the Pac-12. They just can't get a media rights deal together. It seems like Apple is going to be where the majority of the Pac-12 games lie, along with having some network partners as well. The problem was the network partners were not willing to give them more money than they currently are making off of a Pac-12 deal, and that is why the Pac-12 is trying so desperately to keep its members intact by having a streaming platform come on. But as noted, streaming has not done well when it has come to putting products out there. Amazon tried it with Thursday Night Football. I know they still have that deal, but that very first year did absolutely terrible. It absolutely tanked right after the first game. It absolutely shot way down. 60% increase on MLS league passes for Apple, but that's because Lionel Messi joined. Before that, it was looking very fringy, along with their deal with MLB. With some of their games looks bad on streaming platforms. I think right now it's tough to say that you want Apple TV to be your main provider here. I would open it up. I would try to get Netflix, Hulu. If I'm going to go streaming, I might as well have all the streaming networks. I want Disney to be in on this. I want Hulu, I want Netflix, and I want Apple TV, and I want Amazon, and I want to put them and stretch them across all five of the networks or big streaming platforms and see which one does the better number, and then eventually probably stick to that one in the next media right deal. But I'm definitely going to spread them out if I'm just going to do that. Take them off TV, put them on there, and see how it goes from there. I don't know if that's feasible. I don't know if that's going to actually bring them much profit, but I would have attempted to do that if you're thinking of already trying to be futuristic and go to streaming platforms. Anyways, this is probably the best way to do it. And the deal you have with Disney includes them being on ESPN. I think you have to have it simultaneous, ESPN and Disney Plus. And if you want to include, and then you include Hulu on that deal as well to put the package of the three. And you could probably have gotten a good media rights deal if you had done that and presented it. I don't know if the commissioner of the Pac-12 has done that, but it doesn't look like it, and it doesn't look good right now for the Pac-12, and it looks like it will be crumbling within the next year. So you will be seeing USC, UCLA already leaving for the Big Ten. Colorado has already left for the Big 12. You will be seeing Arizona State, Utah all leave for the Big 12. I believe that will get done within the next week. I believe Oregon, Washington are going to be Big 12 members to join USC and UCLA for next year. I believe Oregon State, Stanford, Cal, Washington State, Oregon State, and Stanford, they are going to be the only members left, and they are not going to be obviously with the Pac-12. And the Pac-12 will have dissolved at that point. They will be looking to be part of another conference, likely a smaller conference, likely the Mountain West. So it really looks more like probably the Mountain West would be the schools. Those would be Mountain West schools, and it's going to be obviously at a deficit to them. I don't see any big time, like the SEC I don't see the Big 12, or I don't see the Big 10 potentially grabbing any of those schools. It doesn't make any sense. Stanford doesn't bring any money in either sport, basketball or football, that generates revenue. Oregon State has the best chance to do so, along with Cal potentially. Washington State is not going to bring enough for them to really push it. It's really more Oregon State, Cal potentially could get picked up by the Big 12, but definitely not. I definitely don't see Stanford or Washington State being sought after at all. So that is some really big updates there on realignment for you guys. If you guys have any questions, make sure to leave them in the comments below, and I will see you guys in the next one.